Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me in the sunshine here in Arizona on Super Saturday of the 2023 Barrett-Jackson Auction here in Scottsdale, and this car behind me is going to be crossing the block. This is the first chassis, VIN number 1 of the new 7th generation Mustang, raising funds for charity, and we're going to see exactly what this goes for a little bit later on. Now, not only that, it is Super Saturday and there are lots of supercars that are part of the auction today, and I'm lucky enough to find myself hopping into the passenger seat of one or two as they roll across the block to bring you along for the experience and what this is all about. This is the staging area, lots of cars that are being lined up ready to head on in to go under the hammer, but I can't wait later on to find out more about this. Let's do it, let's go see how today is going to go here at Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale. We are out here between the staging areas with all sorts of different cars, but one that is a big highlight is about to be coming through. As you can see here, from Silver Arrow Cars in Victoria, Canada, this is a one-of-one Lexus LFA, one of the 500 cars, the only one finished in this color scheme, the steel gray over the orange leather interior, and we might be about to see a whole lot more with that. Anyway, we also have behind it the original 1966 Shelby that was built for Ken Miles before he sadly passed away. And listen to that. Listen to the racket of that thing here. We have lots of different cars around. There's a new Ford GT just over there. There's the Hellbrunn GT2 RS. It just got a whole lot quieter. That was really, really cool, the sounds of that. But I need to go and get myself prepared and ready because it's about to be time. Also up for auction today is this, the chassis number 1 Hummer EV SUV. As you can see, quite the crowd around here. There are a number of charity lots at this year's Barrett-Jackson auction. This is the staging tent as it happens. That is where all of the action happens, where we will be rolling through very shortly. It's going to be exciting to see what some of these lots are able to achieve for charity. There are some unbelievable cars coming through. The lightweight Carbon Series Ford GT, followed by the SF90, two cars I'm lucky to have in my garage back at home, but over here it's the pre-staging effectively, which is why you have so many people around taking a look at the various different cars that are here, including this. Previously owned by John Mayer, the Heritage Ford GT, 3,500 miles on this, the Golf Heritage look, and this is a car we might be seeing a little bit more of in just a moment, but very, very cool. It's actually part of a few cars from Silver Arrow Cars in Victoria, British Columbia and Canada that they've consigned to this particular auction, and we're going to be seeing some more of those. In fact, it's come through 911R, that's one as well, and plenty more. But as you can see, it is very busy. There's a lot going on, a lot of people around here. We've even got back here, well, another Ford GT over there. We've got the Carrera GT just here. I've actually seen before in Florida. Carefully walking around, we've got this Nardo Grey Ferrari F40 squeezed through, F8 Tributo, GT2 RS behind, and so many more. It is time for the Hummer SUV to be rolling through. VIN 001, the first production chassis number, is about to be going up and onto the block. With this history Barrett-Jackson have of raising funds for charity, this auction in fact will take them across $150 million in total of charity cars that are featured. This is amazingly exciting. The previous lot, a custom build car, as you can see, with the bidding really getting quite exciting. This is quite the experience to be here, to be in the main hall with all of the action, seeing it, and I'm going to be going over that very shortly, over the block, and hearing this from inside the car. This is it, this is time. Hummer EV SUV VIN 1, it's there, it's being driven on right now. We see $500,000. Exciting in here. Sold. Quite excitingly, I'm going to be hopping on board this, a run in the Ford GT, the first gen Ford GT, across the auction block here at Barrett-Jackson, and in fact, a little bit of information about the car, which is quite fun. Lot 1397, it's a 2006 Ford GT Heritage Edition that was previously owned by John Mayer. How cool is this? One of 343 Heritage Editions with all of the info. It comes with all sorts of things, and that is this exact car. In fact, there's even a cutout that goes with it. This exact car, which looks stunning. Really, really like this generation GT. Obviously, you have the doors with this quite unique style and setup. You've got the 5.4 litre supercharged V8, 500 plus horsepower. It's a mega, mega thing. And as you can see, everyone's taking pictures because it even has the title and original information and stuff that comes with it. So you've got the 6-speed manual, all these distinct design details which pay tribute and link back to the original GT40s from Le Mans and those racing days. This was introduced at Ford's 100th anniversary. In fact, if I squeeze around towards the front, I can come and show you a little detail about it, which is that in the headlights, if you've never seen this before, you have the 100 written inside the lens. Right, it's time, cars are starting. Let's get the start of the GT. Sounds nice. Right, I need to jump in very quickly. Let's open the door. Let's step inside here. Watch the head because Ford GT. And we're rolling through. This is quite exciting to be heading into the hall in the former John Mayer Heritage Ford GT. Always a special car. I love the styling of the dashboard. Speedometer right here in the center, the styling of the switchgear. This is just a really cool thing. The mirrors like this, view all around it, the controls in the central tunnel, the sound system that was an option you have sitting behind, and then of course the view back to that engine that we have right behind us. This is fun. Through the doors we go, following a Ken Miles Shelby. A very Ford day today. A Ken Miles Shelby, we're in the Heritage GT, and then later on we're going to see Mustang VIN 001. The car just stops for the moment here.
Yeah, you know what?
Time to head back, continue our journey through behind the Mustang. Sold, 911R in front. Time for us to roll forward.
This is that little small
as well. This is lot number 1397. This is John Mayer's 2006 Ford GT Heritage Edition. Title's in transit, and it's actually right here. This is a signed title by John Mayer. This Ford GT Heritage Edition is one of only 343 Heritage Editions made for the entire production run.
Sold, we're gonna go $540,000. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So off we head. Wow. Well, now that it's come off the stage and been sold for $540,000, this car is heading back to its area here in the showcase with all of the different cars. It's amazing how they run this process. As you can imagine, all of these cars at some point are heading out to go across the block in the right order with many drivers and logistics and all sorts of things that have to be arranged and prepared. But that's sold, $540,000. Absolutely fantastic. Nearly parked back up. It's actually amazing, genuinely, how they do this, getting all the cars into place, making sure they're lined up absolutely perfectly. And of course, the cutout of John Mayer will come over as well. We can say farewell to this car for the time being. This is the next of the charity lots today. This was Colin Powell's Corvette Stingray, Secretary of State in the United States, and this is also being auctioned with the proceeds going to support charity, which is fantastic to see. This is exciting. The stunning Rep Carrera GT heads through. Respect to the driver. What an engine sound with that clutch going up onto the block. And then next up comes the Nardo Grey Ferrari F40. Look at this. That's mega. That's absolutely mega. We have the F40. It's a 1.8. Wow. Auction well and truly underway. $1,950,000. $2 million. Wow.
And $2,400,000 and now $450,000 and now $5 and $2,500,000 and
Sold. $2.5 million. Hammer price. The gavel is down. The room erupts. We have a beautiful Alfa Romeo Zagato coming through, 1959. That is a very, very pretty looking car. The Mercedes SLR McLaren Roadster. I do love those. Such wonderful cars, that collaboration that Mercedes and McLaren did, but also we squeeze through this away. Next up, we have the Ferrari 550 Barchetta, previously owned by one Rod Stewart. hence the figure behind following it through. But the 550 Barchetta is of course a lovely thing, and another yellow Ford GT, and there is another new Ford GT over that away, I think, preparing to come through. Rod Stewart is following his former 550 in. You can see it's busy here, lots of people. The atmosphere is crazy today. We're going to head up to a viewing point inside shortly. Cars, cars and more cars, but very soon it is going to be the turn of this. A representative example of VIN 001. The customer who wins the auction will be able to build their new 7th gen Mustang into their own personal spec. This is Vapor Blue, the 5-litre V8, the GT, the 480 horsepower naturally aspirated engine. Choice of gearboxes, 6-speed manual or the 10-speed auto, but this thing looks really, really cool, as you might have seen from my first look at both this and the Dark Horse. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to happen when this hits the block. I think it's going to be an exciting time quite shortly. How about this for a view then from up here, as we've just had the car being sold. I think next up is actually the new Ford GT down there, the black one that we've seen. That's going to be rolling up through in just a second. It's quite fun to see it all the way down there where the action happens. Packed stage with bidders and guests. Look at that, how sleek does that look all the way down there. What a place, it's like a big arena. So many people watching the action, all being part of it. It is time then, we have the Ford Mustang, the new Mustang coming up. Here it is, rolling into the center of the stage, right down there, with quite the crowd. A lot of attention around this, and we're going to see what it goes for very shortly, raising money and funds for charity. $490,000, the VIN 1 of the new Ford Mustang, and off it heads. Away it goes. It's interesting now to see many of the cars parked back up here in the showcase, where of course they have sold at auction. The Lexus LFA reached, including all of the fees, $748,000. The Aventador SVJ was $671,000. The 550 Barchetta, formerly Rod Stewart's, achieved $374,000. We have the 599 GTB over there, by the way, which is actually a 6-speed manual that crossed the block over here. Over on this side, the Porsche Carrera GT, legendary car, achieved $1,595,000. $770,000 for the Miles Shelby right in front. We have a few other notable cars, including the Ferrari F40, that reached a total of $2,750,000, including all of the associated fees. A couple of Ford GTs, the new GTs, both went over the $1 million mark, as did some of the other cars today. I've just noticed that we actually now have all 8 of the Ford GTs together. Here we have the 6 first-gen GTs, plus the 2 new cars. Amazing to see the different colors. Many of them have achieved in the $500,000, $600,000 range at auction, perhaps extending outside of my reach. These are quickly appreciating, very much in demand, but lovely specifications. And what an experience it's been for me as well today to ride on board the former John Mayer Heritage GT, to head up onto the block in this very car to get a little feel for it. In fact, as I have just overheard, 16 miles on the yellow example, in fact. But yes, very nice cars, very well received out here at Barrett-Jackson as well, and an extraordinary lineup for us to take a look down. One thing a lot of people ask me about, if I was ever going to get a first gen GT, would I paint it in the same colors as my second gen? And truthfully, no, I would go for something different. I'm not sure exactly what it would be. I do rather fancy yellow. I love the idea of yellow with some black stripes, something like that. But I like variety as well, so completely different looking cars. And talking variety, to have the Brabus G63 right alongside the Ford GTs is fun as well. But the crazy thing with this is being a no reserve auction means that all of the cars have sold. All of these cars have now found new owners, from the Diablo that we have just there, the GTR Pro SLS, the 2 SLRs right alongside it, and everything in between. The classic American muscle, the supercars, all of the charity cars as well, the Hummer EV SUV as we've seen earlier, plus the Mustang. This has been the most amazing experience. My first time here at the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction to watch it all unfold at the world's greatest collector car auction. Nearly 2,000 cars have crossed the block over the last week, and as I've said a few times, what an eclectic mix of cars. To be standing here in front of two Mercedes SLR McLarens with all of the American muscle cars, all of the different cars, the Europeans, the historic cars, you have the new supercars, you have plenty of other things in these enormous spaces. This is just one of the areas that has cars in it to come and see. What an event to experience, whether buying a car or just visiting and browsing, to see all of the other things, to see the exhibition area with all of the new cars on display from different stands and things as well. And of course today to have been part of it myself, going up onto the block, thanks to the team from Silver Arrow Cars who allowed me to jump on board the Heritage GT, the ex-John Mayer car, to get a feel for what all of that was like as well, before we then seen the Mustang VIN 001 going across the block amongst a sea of other cars. A few charity cars in there as well to raise funds for a good cause. What an amazing thing to see. And that particular car, maybe at some point in the future, we're going to see when the customer has chosen their specification as well. Who knows if it will attend an event or something. But today, here at Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale, has been quite the day. It's late into the evening now and unusually quite cold for Arizona as well. But I think I'm probably going to be back again, and perhaps next time around I need to register to have a bidder's pass as well. Who knows? We shall see. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers.